Part 1: The Echo of Forgotten Stars. Space is supposed to be silent, a vast nothingness where sound waves die before they're born. Yet here I was, listening to the echoes of forgotten stars aboard my battered freighter, the Celestial Whisper. The name always felt ironic, given how noisy the universe really was when you listened closely enough. The ship's nav system offered a gentle hum, like a lullaby sung by 1,000 motherboards. I was knee-deep in diagnostics, wrestling with an algorithm that might as well have been written in ancient Martian for all the sense it made to me. My copilot, a holographic AI named Zeke, flickered into view, his digital form shuffling like a deck of cards. "Captain Ren, we've got a ping from the Elysium Expanse," Zeke announced, his voice crackling with static. "Looks like it's coming from a drifting monastery. Lovely." "Monastery, huh?" I replied, wiping a smudge of grease from my brow. "Sounds peaceful, just what we need, a little communion with the cosmos." Zeke simulated a scoff. "Communion or commotion, with our luck it'll be the latter." He wasn't wrong. My luck was legendary, and not in a good way. The Expanse was notorious for its storms of silence, electromagnetic fields that swallow signals whole. Anything coming from there was either a miracle or a miscalculation. Our approach was smoother than expected, the monastery looming before us. A massive, spiraling structure, an architectural enigma of glistening arches and spirals, defying every known principle of physics and aesthetic decency. A tangled symphony of metal and stone, it seemed more like the fevered dream of a cosmic architect than a sacred space. "Zeke, scan for life forms," I instructed, my hands dancing over the controls. The sensors whirred and chirped, their electronic song sharp against the backdrop of cosmic static. "Got something," Zeke replied, his digital eyes narrowing. "Multiple signals, and one of them is decidedly not human." "Alien clergy, fascinating. Let's not keep them waiting," I said, masking my unease with a bravado I didn't quite feel. Docking procedures went off without a hitch, a small miracle considering the monastery's aging systems. As I stepped into the airlock, the stale scent of ancient incense clung to the air, mixing with the metallic tang of neglected machinery. The monastery's corridors were eerily silent, save for the faint murmurs of a long-forgotten chant playing through hidden speakers. Flickering sconces cast ghostly shadows that danced across mosaic walls, telling stories of galaxies born and lost. It was beautiful, in a way that made the hairs on the back of my neck stand at attention. Then I met them, the inhabitants. The humanoid monks were clad in flowing robes, their faces hidden beneath hoods adorned with what looked like circuitry. But it was the other presence that caught my eye, or rather my senses. Hovering among them was a creature unlike any I had encountered. It resembled a cluster of bioluminescent globes, each orb pulsating with a life of its own. It had no eyes, no mouth, yet it exuded a calming aura, like the gentle pull of a distant moon. "Welcome, traveler," came a voice, deep and resonant, echoing not through my ears but directly in my mind. "Quite the welcome committee," I replied, trying to keep my composure as I realized the voice was coming from the alien entity itself. "Name's Ren, Captain Ren." "We are the keepers of silence," the voice continued, "and I am called Orin." "Nice to meet you, Orin. Mind telling me why a quiet place like this sent out a distress signal?" "Our home is under threat," Orin said, its lights dimming momentarily. "A cosmic anomaly one we were tasked to safeguard has awakened." I felt a familiar itch at the back of my mind, that insatiable curiosity that had landed me in more trouble than I cared to remember. "An anomaly, you say? I've had my fair share of those." Orin seemed to sense my skepticism. "This is different, it is alive." Now that was a twist I hadn't seen coming. Alive how? The monk stepped aside, revealing a chamber filled with intricate technological relics, their purposes as indecipherable as an alien's day planner. At the center was a pedestal, and atop it, an orb that glowed with a volatile energy. "This is the heart of silence," Orin explained. "It maintains the storms that protect our monastery, but now it has begun to think for itself." The thought of sentient anomalies was unsettling, to say the least. I leaned closer to the orb, feeling its energy prickling at my skin like static electricity. "So, what do you need from me? An exorcist? A therapist?" "We need your help to contain its consciousness," Orin replied, "before it breaks free and explores other realms." I let out a long breath, weighing my options. Helping sentient anomalies wasn't exactly in my job description. But then again, neither was living a boring life. "All right," I said, nodding. "Let's save your monastery from its own mind." Zeke appeared beside me, grumbling. "And here I was, hoping for a peaceful night," he said, simulating a yawn. "Trust me, Zeke, this will be a night to remember." As we delved into the mysteries of the Heart of Silence, I couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. A murmur of forgotten stars echoed through my mind, hinting at revelations yet to unfold. Part 2: The Whispering Void. The Heart of Silence flickered, casting eerie shadows that flitted across the chamber like restless spirits. I could feel its consciousness brushing against mine, a soft whisper on the edge of awareness. There was a complexity to its thoughts, like tangled threads just waiting to be unraveled. Orin hovered beside me, its globes pulsating in harmonious rhythm. The other monks stood silently, watching with hidden eyes, their presence a living tapestry woven from threads of faith and mystery. "How do we begin?" I asked, feeling the weight of 1,000 possibilities pressing down on me. Orin's lights flickered, a reflection of thought. "The heart's consciousness is nascent, impressionable. It seeks understanding, a connection to something beyond itself. You must engage with it, guide it towards awareness without letting it slip into chaos." "No pressure then," I muttered, taking a stabilizing breath. My humor was a thin shield against the enormity of the task, but in space, a thin shield is often all you have. I extended a hand towards the orb, my fingers mere inches from its surface. The air crackled with energy, each pulse a silent question. Zeke hovered into view, his holographic form shimmering with his usual acerbic wit. "Talk to it, Ren. I'm sure the sentient anomaly will enjoy a good chat. Maybe start with the weather," he suggested, his tone a blend of sarcasm and the kind of encouragement only an AI could muster. Ignoring Zeke's teasing, I focused inward, letting my thoughts drift towards the orb. The world fell away, replaced by an expanse of shifting colors and sounds, a digital aurora borealis, if you will. "Hello," I ventured, feeling somewhat foolish. "I'm Ren, nice to meet you." The response was immediate, the colors swirling into a tapestry of recognition. Images flashed in my mind, stars being born, galaxies spiraling in celestial dances, and an endless void filled with possibilities. "Curiosity," it whispered, the word forming not through sound but through sensation. "Expanding, learning." "Yeah, me too," I replied softly, marveling at the connection. "It's a big universe out there. What do you want to learn?" The heart responded with a cascade of imagery, a thirst for knowledge, the desire to explore the confines of its existence, and an insatiable hunger for experience. It was a child at the cusp of discovery, eager but unprepared for the vastness beyond. "We can help you," I said, trying to imbibe warmth and reassurance into the words. "But you've got to stay here. The universe isn't ready for your full potential, not yet. As if in response, the heart's energy surged, a wave of emotion crashing over me. It was a wild, chaotic ride, a roller coaster of thought and feeling that left me breathless. Suddenly, I felt something deeper, a far-off echo of another consciousness, foreign, yet undeniably present. Orin, I gasped, pulling back sharply. There's something else here, another presence. The alien entity dimmed its lights, contemplating. We feared this, Orin admitted, its voice tinged with regret. A remnant of an ancient mind, an echo lingering within the heart. It may attempt to influence its development. Great, I muttered. It's not just a sentient anomaly, it's a haunted sentient anomaly. Zeke snorted. Of course it is. Next, you'll tell me it hosts a tea party with specters every Thursday. This is serious, I said, though I couldn't suppress a grin at Zeke's quip. It helped to lighten the looming shadows. What's it going to take to separate this echo from the heart? An anchor, Orin suggested. You must give the heart something to hold on to, a concept stronger than the echo's influence, something immutable. I pondered over the suggestion. In the realm of thoughts and ideas, what could possibly be strong enough to ground a burgeoning consciousness? How about a story? I suggested, an idea forming tangible and bright. We teach it about life, about choices and consequences, give it context, a narrative tether. Orin glowed approvingly. Yes, a story can provide structure, harmony. With renewed determination, I reached out again, crafting a narrative from fragments of my life and imagination. I wove a tale of discovery and adventure, of friendship and loss, threads spun from the fabric of my own journey. The heart drank it in, its energy stabilizing, colors settling into a serene glow. Then came the twist, unbidden. The heart suddenly pulsed more intensely, illuminating the chamber with blinding light. I shielded my eyes, feeling a shift, a revelation. Ren, Orin warned, the echo is resisting. A voice, cold, calculating, slipped through the cracks of reality. I claim this vessel, it intoned, ancient and relentless. The heart trembled, caught in a tug-of-war between its nascent consciousness and the lingering echo. No, you don't, I shouted, throwing myself into the tale, pouring everything. Memories, hopes, dreams into the story. My heart raced, adrenaline surging as I fought to anchor the heart with authenticity, drowning out the echo's influence. The chamber reverberated with energy, the heart's inner struggle mirroring my own. In the end, it was not strength that triumphed, but vulnerability, the raw, undeniable truth of what it means to be alive, to be human. Slowly, cautiously, the light receded. The heart stabilized, its glow warm and gentle. The echo's presence faded, retreating back into the shadows, leaving the heart to bask in newfound clarity. It's done, I murmured, exhaustion pulling at the edges of my consciousness. Orin pulsed with gratitude. Thank you, Ren, the heart is at peace. Zeke flickered beside me with a simulated yawn. Another day, another cosmic crisis averted. What do you say we head back to the Whisper and recharge, before something else decides to go sentient? I chuckled, shaking my head. Yeah, let's go home. Yet as we made our way back through the monastery's silent halls, I couldn't shake the feeling that this journey wasn't over, that somewhere out there, amid the swirling storms of silence, the universe still had secrets to reveal. Secrets I was meant to uncover. Part 3: The Celestial Mirage. We had barely returned to the Celestial Whisper, the monastery's silhouette a fading memory against the tapestry of space, when Zeke intercepted another signal, a garbled transmission floating like cosmic flotsam. The signal crackled through the comms, a dissonant symphony that tugged at my curiosity like a siren's call. Ren, you might want to hear this, Zeke said, his holographic form flickering with intrigue. I adjusted the frequency, and the voice that emerged was frantic, a desperate plea cutting through the void. This is the commander of the research vessel Veritas, the voice declared, static-drenched and urgent. We're stranded near Nebula I-348. Need assistance, systems failing, unknown interference. The message cut off abruptly, leaving behind a veil of silence that was pregnant with possibility. Zeke, plot a course to the last known coordinates of the Veritas, I commanded, feeling the familiar pull of adventure. It was the kind of trouble that promised new secrets to uncover, a mystery waiting to be solved. As we approached the nebula, a swirling mass of vibrant gas and dust, the Veritas came into view, a sleek scientific frigate designed for exploration, now listing perilously close to the nebula's grasp. Its hull was scorched, battle-worn, like a soldier who'd stared into the heart of a storm and barely survived. "Looks like a rough day at the office," I commented, steering the Whisper alongside the Veritas. "Rough doesn't begin to cover it," Zeke replied, running scans. "Life support is critical. We won't have much time." I donned my helmet, the visor sealing with a hiss that echoed in my ears. "Let's make this quick, then." The airlock cycle completed, and I stepped into the Veritas, the ship's interior starkly different from the monastery's serene halls. Here, chaos reigned, flickering lights, sparking consoles, and the oppressive stench of burnt circuitry. "Hello," I called out, my voice reverberating off cold metal. "Anyone hear me? I'm here to help." A figure emerged from the shadows, a woman with a lab coat singed at the edges, her eyes wide with a mixture of hope and disbelief. "You got our signal," she said, relief washing over her features. "I'm Dr. Alara, chief scientist aboard the Veritas." "Ren, captain of the Celestial Whisper," I introduced, noting the deep lines of exhaustion etched on her face. "What happened here?" Dr. Alara gestured towards the bridge. "We were conducting experiments on the nebula's unique properties when everything went haywire. The interference, it wasn't random. It felt almost directed." "Directed," I echoed, frowning. "By what?" "The mirage," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "A phenomenon we've observed in the nebula. It appears and disappears at will, distorting space-time. We thought it was just a visual anomaly, but now it seems sentient." A sentient nebula, a concept that sent a shiver down my spine. The universe had a way of making even the wildest theories seem plausible. "I have a knack for running into sentient phenomena," I remarked, half joking to ease the tension. "Let's see if I can help." Together we navigated the damaged corridors, the ship groaning under the stress of its failing systems. As we reached the control room, I caught sight of the mirage, a pulsating shape through the viewport, its shimmering colors defying logic, dancing like an aurora on cosmic steroids. "It's beautiful," I breathed, captivated by its ethereal dance. Then reality reasserted itself, and I focused on the task at hand. How do we communicate with it? Dr. Alara shook her head, frustration evident. "We've tried everything, but every attempt to interact seems to provoke it." I studied the console, an idea forming. Maybe it's not about commands. Maybe it needs to understand us first. With a deep breath, I tapped into the ship's communication array, broadcasting a simple message in the universal language of mathematics. A sequence, a rhythm, the heartbeat of our shared existence. The mirage responded, its form shifting, expanding as if listening. The ship trembled, caught in the gravitational pull of an unseen force. I held my breath, watching as the nebula's tendrils reached out, skimming the Veritas like a curious child. "It's working," Dr. Alara gasped, eyes wide with astonishment. "It's communicating." The mirage pulsed, each wave of color resonating with meaning, a language of light and energy. Slowly, tentatively, I reached out through the console, weaving a narrative of connection and coexistence. "We come in peace," I projected, hoping the sentiment transcended the barriers between us. "We mean no harm." The mirage quivered, and for a moment I feared my attempt had been in vain. But then a sensation enveloped me, a warm, gentle presence, curious and playful, like a cosmic puppy eager to understand. "It's learning," I murmured, awestruck by the enormity of what we were witnessing. It's playing with us." Gradually, a connection formed, a bridge spanning the chasm between human understanding and celestial wonder. The mirage, no longer a threat, became a partner, its presence stabilizing the Veritas as if cradling it in a protective embrace. Dr. Alara turned to me, her expression one of gratitude and disbelief. "You did it, Ren. You truly did it." "It wasn't just me," I replied, humility tempered by satisfaction. "The universe wants to connect if we're willing to listen." As we returned to the whisper, the nebula a kaleidoscope of harmonious colors behind us, I couldn't help but marvel at the mirage's gift. A reminder that even in the vast, indifferent expanse of space, there exists the potential for understanding, if only we dare to look beyond what we know. And as the whisper cruised towards the next horizon, the cosmos wide open before us, I felt a new sense of purpose. A whisper from the stars, beckoning me onward to the next mystery waiting to unfold. Part 4: The Abyssal Conclave. The stars stretched out before us like a glittering tapestry, each point of light a beacon of possibility. I settled into the captain's chair aboard the celestial whisper, the familiar hum of the engines a comforting presence beneath me. Zeke hummed along in sync, his holographic form shifting as he processed incoming data streams. "Ren," he began, his voice tinged with a hint of mischief, "if you're ready for another cosmic adventure, I've picked up some interesting chatter from the fringes of the nebulae of Sargeras." "Chatter, huh?" I replied, feigning nonchalance though my curiosity had already been piqued. "Sounds like it might be more trouble than the last anomaly." "This one's different," Zeke continued, ignoring my sarcasm. "It's a gathering, a conclave of sorts taking place inside an asteroid cluster. Seems a mix of different species, and the topic is, well, that's the interesting part. They're discussing the abyssal." "The abyssal," I echoed, the name alone a whisper of foreboding. Rumors of abyssal phenomena had circulated for years, strange occurrences that existed outside the known universe, playing by rules of their own. "Precisely," Zeke confirmed. "The conclave intends to address the growing disturbance the abyssal phenomena are causing throughout multiple systems." With a spark of determination, I set our course toward the cluster. The journey felt different this time, an electric anticipation in the air, as though the universe was holding its breath. We arrived at the asteroid field, a chaotic ballet of rock and space debris, each fragment locked in a celestial waltz. Nestled within, the asteroids housed a sprawling station, a marvel of engineering constructed with a hodgepodge of technologies that defied definition. It buzzed with life, a neutral ground for an assortment of beings, each more unique than the last. Docking procedures complete, I stepped into the station, the air saturated with the aroma of spices and alien flora. Zeke materialized by my side, his holographic form a reassuring presence amidst the sea of unfamiliar faces. The station was a hub of activity, creatures of all shapes and sizes animated by animated discussions. A tension hung in the air, as palpable as the gravity holding us in place. Captain Ren, a voice called out, cutting through the din. Turning, I found myself face to face with a tall, elegant figure, a Norian, their silver skin shimmering under the artificial lights. I am Taran, coordinator of this conclave. Taran, I nodded in greeting, taking in their fluid movements, the way they carried themselves with an aura of calm authority. Quite the diverse gathering you have here. Indeed, they replied, gesturing toward the assembly. We convene to discuss the abyssal. The phenomena are becoming more frequent, and their impact on trade routes and communication lines is unsettling. Unsettling, I repeated, though I knew that word barely scratched the surface. Ships going dark, entire regions swallowed by anomalies. These were the tales whispered in seedy spaceports and echoed in hushed tones among traders. Ren, Dr. Alara's voice cut through the crowd, her presence a welcome sight. She approached with a colleague in tow, an alien being whose translucent limbs rippled with vibrant colors. This is Lisha, Alara introduced, excitement evident in her voice. They've been studying the abyssal for cycles, tracing its patterns. Lisha, I greeted, extending a hand in a universal gesture of goodwill. Their touch was cool, a shimmering sensation that translated as warmth. Ren, I've heard of your encounters, Lisha said, their voice a melodic hum that resonated in my bones. You have a knack for understanding the unknown. I just listen, I replied, smiling. The universe has a lot to say if you're willing to pay attention. The conclave began in earnest, a symphony of voices rising and falling, debates, theories, presentations of data and observation. Each speaker added a thread to the tapestry of understanding, weaving a narrative that defied simple explanation. Suddenly the ambient lighting shifted, a subtle change that signaled an alert. Discussions ceased, replaced by a murmur of uncertainty. The abyssal, Taran announced, eyes scanning the room, has shifted. We've detected a new emergence near the edge of the expanse. The room exploded into a cacophony of reactions, a tumult of fear and determination. The stakes had risen, the conclave now more than just dialogue, it was a call to action, a need to address the encroaching threat. Zeke pinged me with a private channel. Ren, this could be the opportunity to dive deeper into the abyssal, a chance to unravel its nature. I met Zeke's gaze, feeling the familiar thrill of discovery vie with the fear of the unknown. You're right, I agreed, nodding. We can't let this pass us by. Taran approached, their expression somber yet resolute. Captain Ren. Will you join us? We could use someone with your unique perspective. Count me in, I said, heart racing, the promise of the unknown once more guiding my path. As we prepared to venture toward the abyssal's new emergence, I felt the weight of the universe, the delicate balance of these celestial forces hanging in the balance. Each step forward was a leap into the void, a journey into the heart of mystery, where the abyss gazed back, whispering secrets that begged to be known. And as the engines roared to life, propelling us onward, I knew this was a journey from which there could be no retreat, only the haunting promise of revelation and the endless echo of forgotten stars. Part 5: The Abyssal Threshold. The celestial whisper surged through the void, stars streaking by as streaks of light, fleeting witnesses to our voyage. Alongside us traveled a small fleet of varied ships, each representing the diverse members of the abyssal conclave, bound by a shared purpose and a common curiosity. I sat in the captain's chair, the hum of the whisper a reassuring presence beneath me. Zeke monitored our surroundings, his holographic form flickering with anticipation. Ren, he said, his voice low and thoughtful, we're approaching the coordinates of the abyssal emergence. I nodded, feeling the gravity of the moment settle over me like a tangible force. Ahead lay the unknown, a mystery that defied understanding, inviting us into its depths with the promise of revelation. The fleet slowed as we neared the edge of the expanse, the fabric of space subtly shifting, a ripple through reality itself. Before us floated the abyssal, a swirling vortex of ethereal light and shadow, its presence an enigmatic tapestry woven from the threads of existence and nothingness. Dr. Alara appeared on the comms, her expression a blend of awe and trepidation. "It's beautiful," she murmured, eyes wide as she took in the spectacle. "And dangerous." Lisha's holographic form joined her, their luminescent features a kaleidoscope of emotion. "The abyssal is a threshold," they explained, voice resonating with a musical cadence. "A convergence point between dimensions where the fabric of our universe frays." The abyssal pulsed, a living entity that seemed to breathe with the rhythm of the cosmos. The ships of the conclave spread out in a carefully coordinated pattern, their instruments trained on the phenomenon, eager to capture its secrets. "All right, Zeke," I said, my voice steady despite the thrill coursing through me. "Let's see what we can learn." Zeke initiated a series of scans, the whisper's sensors reaching out to probe the abyssal's depths. Data streamed across the displays, readouts that defied conventional logic, numbers and symbols dancing in a symphony of contradiction. "This is remarkable," Zeke remarked, his holographic eyes wide with fascination. "The abyssal is both here and not, existing in a constant state of flux." A sudden tremor shook the ship, a ripple of energy passing through the fleet. Alarms blared, a chorus of warning that echoed in the cockpit. "Ren, the abyssal is reacting," Zeke warned, his form flickering with urgency. "It's expanding, pulling us in." The fleet scrambled to adjust, engines flaring as each ship fought the inexorable pull of the abyssal's gravity. My hands danced over the controls, the whisper responding with a burst of speed, straining against the cosmic tide. One of the smaller ships, a sleek corvette, was caught in the abyssal's grasp, its crew struggling to break free. As the situation escalated into a life-or-death struggle, I made a decision. "Zeke, prepare for boarding," I ordered, determination lacing my words. "We can't leave them to face this alone." Zeke nodded, understanding the gravity of the choice and the risk. "Ren, be careful. You know what happens if the abyssal takes them." We maneuvered alongside the floundering vessel, the docking clamps engaging with a resounding thud. I grabbed my gear, heart pounding as I crossed the threshold into the ship, chaos and the abyssal's glow mingling in a surreal dance. Inside, the scene was one of controlled panic. Crew members struggled to maintain control, faces creased with tension as they fought against the inevitable. "Hold steady," I called out, my voice cutting through the noise. "We're here to help." The ship's captain, a grizzled veteran with eyes like steel, met my gaze with a grim nod. "Glad to see you, Captain Ren. We could use all the help we can get." Together, we worked to stabilize the ship, securing systems and reinforcing weak points in a frantic ballet of effort and ingenuity. Each action felt like a step along a razor's edge, where one misstep could send us spiraling into oblivion. The abyssal pulsed again, a tidal wave of energy sweeping over us. For a heartbeat, time seemed to stretch, each moment elongating into infinity. I felt the abyssal's essence brushing against my consciousness, an ancient, sentient force, its curiosity mirroring our own. And then, just as suddenly, the moment passed. The abyssal released its grip, retracting with a shudder, its form retreating into the cosmic ether. Breathing a sigh of relief, I returned to the whisper. The scent of adrenaline and uncertainty still lingered in the air. The fleet regrouped, each vessel now a beacon of life and determination against the backdrop of the cosmos. Dr. Alara and Lisha joined the comms once more, their expressions a mixture of relief and wonder. "We survived," Alara said, her voice tinged with disbelief. "And we've learned," Lisha added, their luminescent features glowing with newfound understanding. "The Abyssa. L is more than a threat. It is a mirror reflecting our reality and what lies beyond." I nodded, feeling the weight of their words settle over me. The Abyssal had shown us a glimpse of the infinite, a reminder of the universe's vastness and complexity that defied comprehension. As the fleet began its journey back, the Abyssal a distant memory, I knew this was not the end. It was only the beginning of a journey into the unknown, a quest for knowledge and understanding that beckoned us onward into the heart of the cosmos. And as the stars stretched out before us, each a whisper of forgotten secrets, I felt the pull of the universe, a calling that echoed in the depths of my soul, urging me to explore the mysteries that lay beyond the horizon. Part 6: The Luminal Paradox. The celestial whisper drifted through the star-strewn blanket of space, the aftermath of the abyssal encounter still settling within the confines of my mind. A quietude hung in the air, a rare moment of introspection as the galaxy spun silently beyond the viewport. Zeke's holographic form appeared beside me, his eyes shimmering with an ever-present curiosity. "Ren, while you were busy playing cosmic tug-of-war, I picked up something intriguing." I raised an eyebrow, leaning back in my chair with a sense of resignation. Intriguing like another sentient nebula, or intriguing like a distress signal from a haunted luxury liner? "Neither, fortunately," Zeke replied, a hint of amusement coloring his voice. "It's a signal, an encrypted temporal sequence originating from the edge of the quasar vortex." The mere mention of a temporal sequence was enough to banish the exhaustion from my body, replaced by a jolt of adrenaline. Temporal anomalies were a rare breed of enigma, often more cryptic than even the most labyrinthine wormhole. "You're certain it's a temporal sequence?" I asked, my tone eager but cautious. "As certain as an AI can be about the complexities of time," Zeke quipped. "Whatever's out there, it's transmitting on a frequency that shouldn't exist." We altered course, the whisper adjusting its trajectory with practiced grace, the engines purring a sweet symphony of power and precision. The quasar vortex loomed ahead, its swirling luminescence a hypnotic dance of energy and time. Approaching the source of the signal felt like traversing a cosmic painting, the colors blending and shifting, each hue a brushstroke of luminal vibrance. As we closed in, a structure emerged, a colossal, crystalline lattice suspended within the vortex, its surface shimmering as though woven from the fabric of reality itself. "That's impressive," I muttered, momentarily speechless at the sight. The structure was unlike anything I'd encountered, both ethereal and solid, a paradox made manifest. "The signal's coming from within," Zeke confirmed, his holographic gaze scanning the crystalline expanse. "And it's getting stronger." I docked the whisper with the precision of a surgeon, the ship settling into place like a puzzle piece clicking into its destined spot. The airlock cycled, and I stepped into the lattice, the sound of my footsteps swallowed by the crystalline ambience. The interior of the structure was a labyrinth of light and shadow, corridors that twisted and turned with a logic all their own. Embedded within the walls were glyphs, ancient symbols that pulsed with an inner glow, as though whispering secrets in a forgotten language. I followed the trail of the signal, each step taking me deeper into the heart of the paradox. The air was electric with possibility, the very essence of the place tingling against my skin. Finally, I reached the core, a chamber of light and silence, at the center of which floated a device. It was intricate, a mechanical flower in perpetual bloom, its petals unfolding in a rhythmic cycle as it emitted the enigmatic signal. I hesitated, sensing the weight of the moment. This was more than a discovery, it was an invitation, a challenge to unravel the threads of time itself. Zeke appeared beside me, his presence as steady as ever. "Ren, this device, it's not just a transmitter, it's a temporal key." "A key to what?" I asked, my voice hushed with awe. "A gateway," Zeke replied, his tone tinged with reverence. "One that can unlock paths through time, possibly even between alternate realities." The enormity of the revelation settled over me, a heady mix of exhilaration and trepidation. Such power was both a blessing and a curse, a tool for understanding or undoing the universe as we knew it. I approached the device, fingers grazing its surface, feeling the pulse of its energy beneath my skin. With a careful adjustment, I aligned the glyphs, activating the key. The chamber shimmered, reality bending and flexing as the gateway materialized, a swirling portal of light and possibility. "Ren," Zeke warned, his voice a tether to the present. "Activating this could have unforeseen consequences." "I know," I said quietly, the weight of the decision settling on my shoulders. The allure of discovery was a siren's call, yet the responsibility was immense, a choice that could alter the very fabric of existence. With a steadying breath, I stepped back, the portal shimmering with potential. For now, the key remained a beacon, a tantalizing promise of what lay beyond, the path untraveled, the mystery unsolved. As we returned to the whisper, the crystalline structure a luminescent memory against the tapestry of space, I felt the pull of the universe once more, a whisper of forgotten stars urging me onward, into the infinite abyss where time unraveled and the echoes of potential awaited. And as the stars stretched out before us, I knew that our journey was far from over. That the luminal paradox was but one chapter in an endless saga, a story written across the cosmos, waiting to unfold in the vast, uncharted territories of the heart. Part 7: The Harmonic Nexus. We drifted away from the crystalline lattice, its shimmering form receding into the depths of the quasar vortex. The implications of the temporal key haunted my thoughts, an echo of potential weaving through the fabric of my mind. Time was a delicate weave, and I had glimpsed the threads that bound it. Zeke hovered beside me, his holographic form flickering with an energy that mirrored my own restlessness. "Ren, I've been analyzing residual data from the lattice," he said, his voice carrying a thread of intrigue. "There's more to this than just a gateway." I raised an eyebrow, curiosity piqued once again. "More like what?" "There's a pattern," Zeke explained, his eyes tracking lines of data only he could see. "A harmonic signature embedded within the temporal broadcast, a kind of cosmic resonance." The idea danced in my mind, a melody waiting to be heard. Harmonics were the language of the universe, vibrations that spoke across the void, connecting worlds in ways we barely understood. "Where's it leading us?" I asked, anticipation building as the whisper navigated through the expanse. Zeke's gaze sharpened, his holographic projection stabilizing. "To a nexus, a convergence of harmonics located near the Starborn Plateau." The Starborn Plateau was a place of legend, a celestial formation said to be a meeting point for cosmic energies. A place where reality bent and the impossible danced at the edges of perception. As we charted a course, the stars flitted by, whispers of light in the endless dark. The journey felt like a pilgrimage, a voyage toward an unseen truth that beckoned us closer with each passing moment. The plateau came into view, a breathtaking expanse of shifting lights and shadowed valleys. It was a celestial canvas, where starlight painted the sky with vivid strokes of color, each hue a note in a grand symphony. We descended toward the nexus, the whisper skimming the surface of the celestial sea with a grace that belied its age. The harmonic resonance grew stronger, a pulse of energy that thrummed through the hull, resonating with a frequency that spoke to something deep within me. The nexus lay at the heart of the plateau, a swirling vortex of sound and light, a maelstrom of harmonics that defied explanation. It was alive, a beacon of possibility that tugged at the very essence of my being. Dr. Alara appeared on the comms, her expression one of awe and wonder. "This is incredible, Ren," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "The Nexus, it's a living symphony." Lisha joined her, their luminescent form glowing with excitement. The harmonics are a language, an invitation to join the cosmic dance. The idea resonated within me, a truth that felt both familiar and profound. The universe was an orchestra, and we were its players, each note a brushstroke on the canvas of existence. As I stepped out onto the plateau, the harmonics enveloped me, a cocoon of sound that resonated with every fiber of my being. The air was alive with energy, a cascade of vibrations that sang to the depths of my soul. "Ren," Zeke warned, his voice a tether in the symphonic chaos. "The energy levels are rising. We need to proceed carefully." I nodded, feeling the pulse of the nexus beneath my feet, a heart beating in time with the cosmos. The harmonic resonance was a force of nature, a symphony where reality and imagination blurred into one. With a deep breath, I reached out, my fingers brushing the edge of the vortex. It was like touching the heartbeat of the universe, a pulse of energy that flowed through me, infusing me with its essence. The harmonics shifted, a cascade of notes that resonated with the truth of the universe, a tapestry woven from the threads of time and space. But there was more, a melody hidden beneath the harmony, a story yet to be told. It was a call to action, a plea for understanding from the very heart of creation. And then, as suddenly as it began, the symphony shifted, a change in pitch, a dissonance that rippled through the nexus, altering the flow of energy. The harmonic nexus was in flux, its equilibrium threatened by unseen forces. "Ren, the nexus is destabilizing," Zeke reported, urgency threading his voice. "We need to find the source of the disturbance." I looked to Dr. Alara and Lisha, their faces a mirror of determination. Together, we embarked on a journey through the harmonic sea, each step guided by the rhythm of the cosmos. As we explored the plateau, the dissonance grew, a cacophony that hinted at a deeper mystery, a riddle woven into the fabric of space itself. And as we delved deeper into the heart of the harmonics, I knew that the universe was a symphony waiting to be heard, a melody that resonated with the truth of what lay beyond the stars, a song that beckoned us onward into the unknown. Part 8: The Chord of Dissonance. The starborn plateau stretched out before us, the landscape a surreal painting of shifting colors and radiant energies. The harmonic nexus continued to pulse with an agitated rhythm, its once melodic resonance now a storm of discordant notes. Each vibration was a call to action, an urgent plea from the cosmos itself. Zeke's holographic form shimmered beside me, his projection a steady beacon amid the swirling symphony. "Ren, the dissonance is increasing. If we don't stabilize the nexus soon, we risk a harmonic collapse." Dr. Alara and Lisha flanked me, their expressions mirroring a mix of determination and concern. The weight of the task ahead settled over us, a challenge that promised both discovery and danger. "The source of the disturbance is close," Lisha intoned, their voice a melodic hum that resonated with the plateau's harmony. "We should begin our search in the resonance caverns." The caverns lay beneath us, nestled within the heart of the plateau, a network of tunnels carved by time and the harmonic energies that flowed through the land. They were a labyrinth of sound and shadow, a hidden underworld where the dissonance was strongest. As we descended into the caverns, the air thrummed with potential, each footstep echoing with a haunting resonance. The walls shimmered with luminescent glyphs, their patterns shifting as if alive, guiding us deeper into the mystery. The path before us twisted and turned, each corner revealing new vistas of sonic wonder. The caverns were alive with energy, a living testament to the power of harmonics, and the deeper we ventured, the more tangible the disturbance became. We navigated the labyrinth, following the dissonant chord that echoed through the tunnels, a siren's call leading us ever onward. The air grew charged with energy, the resonance building to a crescendo as we approached the heart of the disturbance. And there it was, a crystalline monolith, its surface fractured and thrumming with chaotic energy. It stood at the center of a vast chamber, a beacon of discord that pulsed in time with the nexus above. "What is it?" Dr. Alara asked, her voice a hushed whisper of awe. "A harmonic disruptor," Zeke replied, his voice tinged with both fascination and concern. "But it's more than that, it's a key to the nexus's equilibrium." The monolith shimmered with an inner light, its fractures revealing glimpses of an intricate lattice of energy, a reflection of the harmonic nexus itself. It was both a part of the plateau and apart from it, a paradox that spoke to the heart of the dissonance. "We need to repair it," Lisha suggested, their luminescent features glowing with determination. "Restore harmony to the nexus." The task ahead was daunting, the monolith a puzzle of sound and light that defied simple logic. Yet, as I stood before it, I felt a sense of purpose, a certainty that the solution lay within the symphony of the universe. Guided by instinct and intuition, we began our work, weaving the strands of energy back together, aligning the fractures with the harmony of the plateau. Each adjustment was a note in a grand composition, a melody that resonated with the truth of the cosmos. Time seemed to stretch and compress, the music of the monolith weaving a tapestry of moments, each a step closer to restoring balance. The dissonance softened, the chaotic rhythm slowing to a gentle pulse as the monolith's energy stabilized. And then, with a final harmonic chord, the monolith resonated with a purity that echoed through the caverns, the discordant energy dispersing like shadow before the dawn. The nexus above responded in kind, its melody returning to a harmonious symphony that danced across the plateau. Relief washed over us, the burden of the challenge lifting as the harmonic balance was restored. The monolith stood silent and still, a sentinel of order amid the cosmic chaos. "We did it," Dr. Alara breathed, her voice filled with wonder and exhaustion. Lisha nodded, their luminescent form flickering with satisfaction. "The harmony is restored, but the nexus still holds mysteries yet to be uncovered." As we made our way back to the celestial whisper, the plateau bathed in the soothing symphony of the nexus, I felt the universe's pull once more, a whisper of forgotten stars urging me onward. The journey was far from over, the cosmos an endless symphony waiting to be explored, with secrets woven into every note, a melody that resonated with the promise of discovery and the thrill of the unknown.